Gonzales, Texas, home of the Texas Junior Finals Rodeo, and where kids come from all across Texas to compete and to find out once and for all who has the right stuff to win state champion and go on to the nationals. At events like these, there's no shortage of inspirational stories of beating the odds and overcoming adversity. But one story in particular stood out like a shining beacon for all to see.
Well, Roxanne Roundtree, her son Brad Roundtree, he's in the same region as my son Wyatt Imus, and Wyatt came to me in the beginning of the state finals here and said, "Mom, you know, Brad Roundtree's family story is incredible. He's here with his mom who's really sick with Lou Gehrig's disease."
It eats away her muscles, and basically her immune system is fighting her body, and she can't walk or talk and stuff. And she has to use a wheelchair and this computer to talk to us and tell us what we need, and my dad takes care of her every needs.
You know, of course, the disease is a rapid deterioration of the muscles, and she took a rapid decline. But with her family and everything, and our community rallying behind us, they made it a way where I've been able to be home with Roxanne to take care of her 24/7. I'm a caregiver, and I do everything for her.
Through this diagnosis, there are some things that she wanted to accomplish for her boys. That was the love of her life. So one of her loves was cooking. Well, she decided to start typing up recipes for a cookbook.
When you open up the cookbook, they have a little insert, and it tells Roxy's story. And it just brought me to tears. She typed this cookbook. It took her 2 years with the blinking of her eyes.
But it's from her heart. So some of the wording in here reminds me of Roxanne. When I read the recipes, I feel that she's talking to me, and because we can no longer hear her voice.
These are a collection of my family's favorite recipes. Some were shared with me, but most I wrote myself, because I love to cook and love good food. I initially wrote the book with just a few recipes for my mom and sisters, so after I pass away they could cook on, and the boys some of their favorite dishes.
Well, food is one of Roxanne's biggest passions besides being a nurse and taking care of other people. So, you know, the cookbook deal, it was like, you know, when she lost the ability to cook, she still had the desire to.
She makes some of the good food. She put all that food in the recipes, and she loves to see us eat since she can't eat. She loves to see other people eat. And she taught us all how to cook, and my dad how to cook.
On the cover are my 3 precious children with a few of the dishes they helped prepare this Thanksgiving. I love to see them in the kitchen cooking.
The picture on the front, she wanted of her boys. It was her prized possession, or her boys. And last Thanksgiving, these are the dishes that they cooked in her kitchen with her instructions.
My mom means a lot to me. She's a very special person. She's my mom, of course, and she always took care of us when she used to. She used to work her butt off just for it was to get food on our table, and she used to do everything she could to let us have a nice life back in Kennedale, and she never gave up on us, and she has always inspired us and cheered us on. She has a very nice character. If she could cook you up 5 different plates, and she is awesome, and she's one of the nicest people you'll meet. Even though she's in a wheelchair, she's very nice. She always talks, and she's a nice person to talk to. She's very funny sometimes.
I come from a rodeo family. My dad rode broncs, and I was a barrel racer and pole bender.
Rodeo, it just means a lot to Roxanne because she barrel raced. She was, you know, as a kid, it was part of everyday life, you know.
She was a very good barrel racer, and she inspired us to rodeo.
She likes watching me rodeo because she used to be able to rodeo, but now she can't. And now I try my best because it may be her last year to be here, and I just tried my best, and she knew I did, and she was proud of me and everything.
Seeing my son Brad doing what he loves and what my family has loved for 4 generations now brings so much joy to my heart. It is my driving force to keep fighting.
It was all coincidence, you know, that by the time that she had finished with this first recipe book, that it was time to come to state for Bradley. And the idea came about, hey, let's put these books together and see about raising some money to get us down here to Gonzales, you know, so it wouldn't be no financial stress coming down here. And that's how that came about.
When we learned Brad made it to state, we knew there was no way we could afford the trip. We called Carla, a good friend of ours, and rallied together with my mom and sisters to get the cookbooks printed and binded and set up to sell them to raise money for the trip. The response to my book was incredible. We sold 250 in the first week just within our community of 5,000 people. They bought and sold books and made the trip possible for us, and that is how my book started. From a little folder of recipes to a 218-page binded book.
And it's been a success. We've been able to make it down here and everything, and we've had a great time. So, you know, we want to thank everybody that even, you know, that contributed, donated, and bought and purchased the cookbooks.
Rodeo has brought us closer together because we get to travel together and make so many wonderful memories together.
Her whole family here at the state finals with Brad competing and doing well. I just found it extraordinary too, and Wyatt brought this all to my attention. He just said, "Mom, I so admire Brad and his family for being here. It's extraordinary under those circumstances that you would even think of, you know, pursuing this and having the courage to come here." And this is, you know, this is pretty intense, Texas State Finals, and being here for 9 days and day after day, long days, you know, early mornings, long evenings, and the whole family together.
Every time I do good, and I just look up there at her. She means a lot when she comes up here and watches me rodeo and stuff.
That's what she enjoys the most nowadays, to go watch my brother rodeo and watch us all rodeo and ride. She just enjoys going and traveling while she can and watching Brad ride and do all these events. And Brad always loves her coming to rodeos. He loves her watching him.
I believe that's her determination to live, is to watch her sons participate in their sports. That's her main motivation for these 5 years of survival. And she has enjoyed every minute. She feels this rodeo is making her memories for her and her sons.
I so admire the family. I don't even know the family personally, but I do hope people buy her cookbook and support the family in any way they can, because the entire family is a family of courage and strength and, you know, staying together and still persevering and not giving up also on your dreams. So, you know, people get a great cookbook out of it also.
I want to thank my husband and sons for taking care of me. They are my inspiration. and the reason I am here.
So that's the story of Roxanne Roundtree, her cookbook, the rodeo, her illness, and the iron will and heart of gold that has overcome the impossible, all in the name of family and love. Now that's a recipe.